Alright, we're building the cover for this project, for the Journey to the North Pole project, and I wanted to show you on the spines before I put anything together. You can see the difference between these two. That is because of the scoring that I have done here. So if you will fold them towards your chipboard on both sides, and then fold it backwards so that it's flexible. Once you put it together, you want it to be able to lay as flat as possible once you open it out. So do it both directions. And then when you're done, see how it's kind of puckered looking? If you'll take the edge of your bone folder and just slide it along your chipboard, that'll clean up any imperfections and give you a really nice spine piece. And I don't do it with the point because this is just a single thickness here and I don't want to accidentally poke through it. Artisan is strong, but still I don't want to push my luck. Then you'll need to take and cut, and I leave a little bit of edge for my glue so that I don't have a hole up there. And we'll just cut these down to get rid of some of that bulk at the top because we still have to add pieces to the inside to cover this once we get it all assembled. Okay, so there's that. So now we're ready. Okay, I'm going to take the fine tip off of here so that I get enough glue. Hopefully not too much. Let me get a wet wipe real quick. I have a dry one out to use, but I want to have a wet one just in case I have any ooze. Okay, on your cut list, it tells you how to cut this one. This is the very top piece. So it will attach to one of these hinges. This one is the 6.5 by 4, and you can see here's the pieces I cut out before I wrapped it. So you will cut, when you lay it up here with your 6.5 at the top, you'll measure down 2.5 inches on each side, and then from the outside corner you'll measure in 1.5 inches. Draw yourself a line and just cut those places out. Okay, my glue is wanting to ooze, so what we want to do is attach glue to this hinge. And don't go all the way to your hinge because you don't want to be able to see it. But I want enough that it's going to catch this corner, so I'm just going to spread it to the corner with my finger. And that's where the wet wipe comes in handy. Now if you'll lay your pieces up against your score pal and slide this up underneath it right to the hinge, or the right to the score line of that, and just press it down really, really nice. The next thing we want is the 6 by 8.5. And we'll do the same thing here. I think some people may use score tape in this area, which is fine if you're in an area where you can. I just have so much humidity where I'm at that score tape comes apart on me. Just going to spread that around the edges to make sure nothing comes up. And I'm going to lay this one right in here, right up to that score line, as straight as I can get it. Just like that. That line is only for the internet, so I don't answer it, so we just ignore it. It's actually not supposed to ring where you can hear it, but it does anyway. Okay, we're going to move it right up. We're going to add the next 6.5 inch hinge. Looks like this is off just a hair. There we go. Guess I didn't have it quite straight. I thought I did. There we go. Still a little bit off. Okay, so the next one, hinge, we'll do the same way. Spread a little glue up here, and a little down to this corner, and put it right up underneath, just like we did the other one. See, I got a little glue right there, and usually you can get it out with your fingernail. And then we have the bottom piece, which is 6.5 by 5. Make sure my edges stay down. And we'll put this one right up to that score line. Now let's turn it over and burnish all of these. If you see that any of them are not perfectly flush, just take your scoring tool and go along the edge and kind of even up that cardstock. You can kind of push it into place a little bit better. Nose itches. I think they say that means you're having company, right? This looks like it needs more glue. And it does. Get my dry one here. Looks like I didn't get enough glue. Make sure these edges are down good. Good. Some can use a little bit more right there. Okay, those are good. Now, you will see, after we add the sides, how this is going to go. And there will be a pocket down here, and we will close it that way. Okay, on the side pieces, it's going to be the same type of thing, but we need to turn it over. And I want the large part on the right hand side, and this will become the right side. So we're going to add our glue. And this time we don't have the side to line it up with, so we have to just kind of ballpark it as best we can. Whoops. Now I made mine purposely just a hair shorter. Come on, don't stick yet. So that I had clearance from the top to the bottom. It wants to stick for I'm ready. Right about there. Right there. And then this larger one will go here. Oops. A little carried away there. So we put this down 5.5 by 8. And it's going to go right here. So let's turn that over and burnish it real good. And then we have the other side. Getting glue everywhere. And these are your 7/8 inch spines. The top and bottom are 1 inch. Okay. And we want to make it the same as the other side. Right up against the spine with the score line. And then we'll add glue here. Let me put my top back on it. Okay, spread it up there. And we'll put our narrow piece on. Just like that. Oop, I not moved it. Push it back up there where it goes. Okay, let's turn this over. That's all 9 pieces. Doesn't take very long to put it together. So what will happen is these will fold in, and I may put a magnet on here. Oops, that's not glued down tight yet. Let me leave that alone for a minute. That one wasn't tight yet. good. Use a little glue right here. I was spreading it out good enough. I guess I didn't do as good as I thought. That's why you check it now before you put any design paper on top of it. Okay. So nonetheless, these two will fold in. I may have a magnet on that, I'm not sure. And then these two will come up, forming your top and bottom. And they will just barely overlap. And there will be a pocket down here. It's going to be cute. This will come in. See if this one's dry enough. Yeah, like that. Alright, I'm going to let those set up a little bit more, and then I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, let me fix this camera here. It's a little bit crooked, I think. We're working on the inside of this album. Trying to make sure I'm where you can see. Okay, so I cut a bunch of my papers out to decorate the inside. The first thing you want to do though is to cut, take one sheet of the 12 by 12 and cut 4 3-inch strips. And you'll need 2 of them 7 7/8 inches long to cover this spine and this spine, and the other 2 will be 6 3/8, and that will cover those where the joints are. Then I cut a piece of the one with the Christmas tree, and I'm not sure, let me see if I can find the name of it on here. Something in reindeer. I'll find the bottom of it. I'm not sure the name of that piece of paper. I'm sure I've got it somewhere. But I wanted to try and be able to tell you what I used on each sheet in case you wanted to do yours just like mine. And I don't know what it's called. I think it's called Santa and Reindeer. Yes, that's it, Santa and Reindeer. And on the back side of it, it has the Santa and Reindeer. So the trees is on the opposite side, which is what I'm going to use. And that is going to go down in the center. So let me get some glue on that. And it's coming out too sparse. I'm going to take the little tip off so I can get a little bit more glue. It's really cold in Texas today. And people up north that are used to the cold, when we say it's in the 40s and we're freezing, they think that's ridiculous. But when you've come from 100, 110, and in 2 days you drop to the 40s, believe me, it's cold. Alright, there's that one. And we're just going to center this in the back. Make sure that you've got it cut where it's not going to overlap any of your score lines, so that when you fold up your sides and top and bottom, it lays flat. And we just want to burnish this down real good. Got a little glue there. And then, let me look at this. Make sure that's not going to overlap. Yep. Gosh darn it. I got it too far over. You know what, actually I think I'm going to take just a hair off of it, because I think mine is just a little bit too wide. And it was starting to pucker there a little bit. So let me take just a smidge off of the edge. I thought when I did the dry placement that it looked fine, but when I actually put it into place, it was a little bit too wide. Darn it. That ought to be plenty right there. Okay. put a little bit more ink on it and then I'll re-glue it. You don't want that overhang on the edges because then when you fold it up, it'd bend this paper and it just looks all wonky and yucky. And we don't want that. After all our hard work, we want it to look as nice as it can possibly look. Now here we go again. That'd be better. And that's going to fold fine. And pivot this top just a hair. Okay. Beautimous. That's good. Okay. Made all the difference in the world. Get all these corners down. Okay, and then I've got two little flag pieces I cut just for a little decoration. Just to break up the monotony. And this one I'm going to put over here like this, just like a finger width from the edge. And this one the same way, from the top though. And about the same, just a finger width, about like so. Oops, up to the edge. You know what? I don't like it like that. I want it to go this way. About a finger width. I like that better, go in the opposite direction. Okay, there we go. I like that better. Okay, now on the top piece, and I have inked all these in Vintage Photo. I have a strip of the Santa and the Reindeer, and then the plaid, and this one is called, let me see if I still got it here. I thought I wrote them all down. This one is called, oh no, here's another piece of it. This one is called Mail for Santa, because on the back side it's got a mailbox with Santa. Okay. And this is going to go right along the top with just a small margin of the green showing. And then I'm going to attach the Christmas trees to this green strip. Put it where I can see the edges. Just like that. And this will make a little faux pocket up at the top. It'll make a tuck spot, but not really a deep pocket. You'll be able to stick things behind here. It just won't have any depth to it. So we're just going to glue it down on 3 sides, the bottom and across both short ends. Be sure you stay away from that fold there. Make sure we don't get into that, and we look good on that area. Okay, And let's go down to the bottom part. And we have a red pocket. Whereas this has green behind it, this is a little thicker. And I'm thinking that should be okay. We're going to attach this to the pocket. Just leave yourself a little border all the way around. That phone we ignore. It always wants to ring as soon as I start doing a video, but it is strictly for internet service, and it's not supposed to ring, but it does. Irritating. Okay, this is going to place here, and this pocket will go here. So let's put our pocket down first. If you can see what I'm doing, I'll show you here in just a second as soon as I get this glued down. It's kind of running off my page. Alright. Let me burnish this down real good. And then this will slide inside the pocket. Looks like I need to trim it off just a tiny bit, which is fine. Better to take a tiny at a time, and then you can always come back and take off more if you need to. A little bit more. Now let's see what we got. Yeah, that's perfect. So let me do a little ink on these sides here. Okay, got this trimmed down, and we're going to put it inside the pocket. Just like that. Get it just below that gusset right there, whatever you want to call it, the fold. Make sure it's not going to crease. Move it down just a hair more. Better safe than sorry. Yeah, that'll be fine. Just like that. Okay. Now on the right side, I just have a piece of this plaid. And I'm going to put that there. Make sure I get my corners. Better safe than sorry, right? And we're going to apply that right here. And that works fine right right there. Yep. And then I cut 2 little pieces of scrap with green behind it. And I'm just going to attach that just to break up the monotony of the plaid and give it a little more interest. So I'm going to put that in the center of the green. And I'm going to run one strip at the top and one at the bottom. Just like that. And the other one at the bottom. A little glue on that one. And I'll put this one down here. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And then I cut out a, what do you call them, policy envelope. What I do with it, it's white. It's blending into everything. I use the Graphic 45 die. Here it is. Use this little die, Graphic 45 policy envelope die. And just cut it out of white and it gives you your score lines. And I want to use that on this page just to give whoever an area for more little mats or embellishments or journaling spots, whatever. But I thought that would be really cute right in here, and I'll have to add some design paper to it, but we'll come back to that after a while. But then I won't lose it. Okay, now to the left side. That is the larger panel on the inside. What we have is a kind of a waterfall. This one is going to go here. Make sure I don't need to trim it up any. I think I will take just a smidge off of it just to be safe. Okay. And we're going to ink that up. Ink it up. We're going to glue it. Ink would not hold it down now, would it? Okay. And this is going to be your base here. Okay. Now I have 4 of the 3x4 cut aparts. I think I have 5 of them. 3, 4, 5, yes. And then you'll need a piece that is 3, I believe. 3 1/4 by 12. And what you're going to do is put it in your scoreboard, and starting at 4, hold on, and get a correct measurement for you. Let's go around this way and see if it comes out an even measurement. Okay, starting at 6 5/8, you're going to score it. Then you're going to go every ½ inch, so you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 score lines. So it's going to be 6 5/8, 6 7/8, 7 5/8, 7 7/8, 8 5/8, 8 7/8. Okay, and this will be your front of your waterfall. Now we have a strip that is 1 inch by 12. And we're going to score it. Actually, what you need to do on the back side of this, now your score lines are the front, so open it up, and from this bottom edge, make yourself a mark at 1 inch, so that we can place this strip here. And we're not going to glue it on the front, not just yet. We're going to fold this around just with your fingers. You don't want it to be too tight, but you don't want it to be too loose either. So we're going to lay it at 1 inch and just fold it around. Keeping it straight, of course. Let me turn this off. We don't need all that excess. And we're going to fold this side. And let me fold this one straight. So that they match. Now we will trim this one off. And that's just going to make a loop that we want to glue together in the back. Just like that. Let's burnish that down. Now decide where you want this placed. Mine's a little off. I'm going to trim that edge so I don't have a bit hanging over. Decide exactly where you want it, because this is going to slide through the loop. Like that. And decide how you want it placed. And put it down at our 1 inch mark. And how much room you want at the top and the bottom. I'm just going to kind of center mine like that. So what we want to do is apply glue to the back of this. Don't get it on your other part because it needs to be able to slide. So let's place it again like we want it. And down a little bit further. About like that. Let me make sure I have... Okay, ruler, where are you? There it is. Make sure I've got it even. I have 3/4. 3/4. That looks about straight to me. Okay, so press this into place. Make sure this still slides. Okay. You take that back out, leave that in place. Let's get this out of the way for the moment. So at each one of these folds, you're going to attach one of your cards. So I wanted this one on the top, December 25th. So I'm just going to put glue on this 1/2" tab. And I'm going to attach this to it so that I have a little bit of a green edge. Just like that. Let's burnish that down. Make sure it's even all the way down. Okay. Now we can go to the next 1/2". It'd probably be easier if you just put it on your card, so I don't get it too far out on the green edge. And we'll just line it up with the one before, leaving a little bit of a green edge. That lines up fine. Let me press that one into place. And we'll go to the next 1/2". And we'll put this one down. That one's a little bit narrower than the others, I think. Move it over just a little bit. But it'll be okay. Now number 4. Put that one down, like so. That one's out of kilter a little bit. I'm just slide it over. The green one is narrower than the rest. That's the problem I'm running into. I'm going to trim a little bit off of this one. Just a tiny. See if that made any difference. Yeah, I think it did. Okay. A little bit more glue. And each time I open it back up to make sure they're lined up. Here's that one. And, oops, didn't have that one on good. Oops, I pulled it loose. Let me straighten it up. Alright. Let me bring the album back in before I add the last one. Okay, what's going to happen is this slides in your pocket. This one attaches to that bar right there. So when that attaches and you pull on this, it pivots like that. Okay? So I'm trying to, I think I can still use the last one. I just want to make sure I'm not overzealous and don't pull up on it too soon and take all my glue off or pull it loose from the glue. We should have room for one more. Yeah, one more. And what did I do with it? Oh. No, that ain't it. There it is, the Christmas tree. Okay. So we're going to put that in there. And we're going to attach this last one. And bring these forward. Brush it from the back side so I don't tear nothing up. Okay, and I want to round my corners. On this long side. Okay, then we want to slide it back in here. And we're going to attach glue to this bar, and we're going to attach it right here. Now, is to do it very carefully. Got glue all over me because I don't want to tear it up. When you open, pull on it, it'll do like that. Very cute, huh? Alright, that is it for the right now. I will be back shortly and we will do some more, but I've got to cut more papers. So I will be back with you shortly. Alright guys, let me catch you up on where we are. This is I just put a paper clip on this one just to keep it from springing up. Once it lays down flat it does pretty good, but I thought when you close it, it might want to flop out, so I just put a paper clip on it. But you can also add a sticker to your paper clip if you use one, just to decorate it up a little bit. I did add a little strip of green and just fishtailed it at the end and put a sticker on it. And down at the bottom I added a little pull tab, and then on the inside I just added a piece of decorative paper. I didn't want to put anything on here for fear it would make it too tight when it slides up under there. So that is that side finished. And then back over to the right side. If you remember, I showed you this little policy envelope that I used the Graphic 45 die on. I don't want to seal it up completely because to me it's hard to get stuff in and out of this little opening. So what I did was I took the die and I laid just the edges of it over a piece of scrap so that I could, this one goes on here so I can match up the hole, so that I could put a little piece of design paper over it. And I'm just going to do that. Let me grab my glue real quick. I took it in the other room because it got cold here last night. Yeah, it got really cold here last night and I didn't want to take a chance on it. I don't think it got cold enough it would have hurt it, but better safe than sorry. So, I'm going to add a little glue to this piece. And just add it over this flap so that maybe just a little bit of white shows. Match up my hole there. I got it over a little too far. I know it's going to be off a little bit because I want the white edge to show. Just a little bit. Get up there. It's not exactly where I want it. That'd be better. It's good enough. And then a piece for this side. And then I cut a little piece of scrap for the top. What I did, there it is. There's a whole sheet of little tiny tags in this collection. I thought they'd be so cute in here. So I'm going to pop that on here. Now, I want to put a piece of baker's twine in here, but I want to cover it up. Let me put my pin back in my glue real quick. I can match it up. There we go. Piece of 1/4 inch. Where's the starting? There it is. I just need a little piece to hold my baker's twine down. Scissors. And I want to poke this through the hole. I think I'll make it go down below it. Well, no, I don't. Darn it, now I've already got it on there. See if I can get it up real quick. Yeah, I got it up. Left a little bit of a mar on it, but I don't want it there. I want it up above. There we go. And I didn't really need a piece quite that long. Just need a little piece. And I'm going to put it right above the hole. Actually, let me stick that through first. And I think I'll make it go sideways so I can put this right over the hole. Because I want to cut just a little strip of paper. And I have a little brad I'm going to put through this one. I've got a bunch of brads laying around that I hardly ever use. Let's turn this where it doesn't stick out. I don't want to make it too tight. So I want to be able to get the, there we go, get the baker's twine wrapped around it. Let me cut this off. Make sure that's more than I'll need. And Now I want a little strip of paper. Actually, I might could use this in there. That might be a little bit too thick, though. I'll save that for the outside. Let me... Where's that? There's that green I had. Got a little, maybe a 1/4 inch strip I think will be enough. I think that should be enough to cover it. Yeah, that's all I need. I just want to cover these. So we'll put this right across the tape, just like that. And let me put a little glue out here to hold it. And on this end, and then I can cut it off. A little crooked there. And we'll just cut it off even with the edges. Get my string out of the way, I will. Go. And I just want a little piece to cover that. So in case there's any little fingers in the house, they won't get stuck on that. Cut that off. Wonder if it's long enough for the other side and we'll make it match. Not quite. I'll cut me another little piece. I think it needs to match. Okay, let's put a little bit of glue down here so this side looks like it belongs. Okay. Now we can close this up. And wrap the string around. You might have needed to leave a little bit more leeway there. Now we can glue this down. And once it sets up, then I'll put some little tags in it. You can always use tags at holiday time. Okay, this is going to go right in here. Just like that. Got it off center a little bit. Okay, I might hang a little, some sort of little embellishment on there. Okay. Now these are the little tags. There's a full sheet of them in there, and I'm going to use some of those. And they'll also work up here in this little faux pocket. There's a whole sheet of them. There's like 7 in each row. So anyway, and then we've got this pocket down here. We'll put some cut-aparts in that. So let's go to the outside of the left part. And what I have for that is a large photo mat. And then I have this strip. And I have this little pocket to go down at the bottom. And I cut a little tag, which I thought would be cute up here. Makes it match this down here. Okay, so let's put that down. Okay. And I haven't inked that yet. Let me ink it. I love this plaid. If you can't tell, I've used it several places. And then when we get done with the cover, we'll be making our inserts for that center portion and for the little pocket towards the bottom. So this is going to go right here. And our little pocket. Did I put glue in there? I don't know if I did or not. I'm going to take care of that right now. And we're going to set this little guy right here. Okay, and our little tag. And put it right up here. It's just got glue at the top so that you can slide something under it. Now on this side, you're still kind of stiff. On this side we have the same plaid. ink. Let's ink that. Ink it. I said it again. Said earlier I was going to ink it when I had out the glue. I'm telling you. Okay, and that is going to go right here. And then I have 2 photomats that are going to go, whoops, on here like this, with a little space in between them, and we'll add a sticker Santa Claus. Okay, let's put this right about here. Make sure I get it spaced right. And this one about like so. And then we have this little Santa Claus, and I want a little strip of green. About 3 little pieces of it, so that I can elevate him off the edge. I don't want to use a glue dot because they sometimes remain sticky all the time, and I don't want something else to stick to it. So I'm just going to put 3 little like 1/2 inch square pieces, or 1/2 inch by 3/4, whatever it might be. It's just scraps, and I'm just going to put it in the center of the Santa. Right, I'm going to put it between these 2 squares, between the 2 photomats, and then put a little dot of glue on that. And position my Santa like that. Now you'll be able to slide a photo behind it. So it will close like that, like this. Like this. And like this. Is it hitting? Might be. Yeah, I'll have to overlap it a little bit more to make it do right. It was kind of bumping in there. So we want it like that and like this. That's what we want. And then we'll have our pocket down here at the bottom. So what I have cut for the top is this stocking paper, which I haven't inked yet. it down. I have found that when cutting these angled pieces like this, it works for me to cut the design paper the same time as I cut the chipboard. Cut it exactly the same, because once you wrap your artisan around it, that adds enough bulk that it gives you your little bit of an edge. And then you won't have to worry so much with cutting your design paper and getting it wrong. At least it helps me to do it that way. So there's that. And then on the bottom, I have the plaid again. Alright, so this goes towards the top. Like that. And then we've got our pocket. And I want to trim this down just a little bit more right here so that it doesn't show. Okay. Stay there. Didn't want to stay put. It's not heavy enough. Okay, that works. Let's ink this, another piece of the stocking paper. I like the red stripe that's on the back of it too. A diagonal stripe, I like it really well, but I don't think I use that side. So there is our little pocket. Got too much junk laying out here, guys. Okay. Now we'll add the pocket to the bottom of the bottom. And that will be our spot that holds it down, or holds it closed. Okay. Let's get that right in place here. There we go. Okay. There we go. I need something heavy to hold it closed until I get some, what do I do with that? these Lucas gave me. I don't know, I have this metal thing that Lucas gave me that I'd like to use for a weight. Let me see if it's over here. Don't know what I did with it. I had it yesterday. I was using it. Oh well. I'll find it later. But that's the way it goes, just like this. This folds up. And this one comes down. And then we'll have inserts in here that will hold it closed. Ain't gonna work for now, but it will eventually. Alright guys, I will be back shortly. I gotta cut out the papers for our insert. Alright, I'll be back shortly.
Roxy, get off. Off.
Alright, for the closure on the front of this box, I just wanted to show you what I'm going to do to hold this all down so that I don't have to have a magnet. I wrapped a piece of 4x6 chipboard with the green Artisan, and I took the cut apart that is the postcard to Santa, and I'm just going to glue that on top of it. I just felt like I needed something a little more sturdy to hold that down since I used the medium weight chipboard. It's pretty stiff, and I wanted something that's going to hold it down and not bend with the weight of it. So I'm just going to add some glue to this, and this is from I'll tell you in just a second which sheet it's from, but Tamara will have a supply list for you. As soon as I get all of this done, I'll get her a supply list and she'll publish it for you guys, so that if you want to have everything that I'm using, then she'll know what you need. Okay, so let's put this down on here, and it should leave just a very minimal green border. Yeah, just like that. Now it looks like an envelope. And I just cut the chipboard 4x6 and just wrapped it like you would any album cover. So then we can put this in the little pocket to hold it closed, and then you can see there's plenty of room for more stuff in here, and I'll have more things to go in there, but I wanted to show you the first insert. This one is, oh, let me give you the name of that sheet. That postcard came out of, crud, what's it called? I think I wrote it down. Wait a minute. Where's my list for Tammy? Here it is. It is called Multi-Journaling Cards, and it's the sheet that has all the different sizes on it, and you can see where I cut it from here. That's the postcard. Okay, so let's lay this aside. Now for the first little booklet insert, we have 2 pieces of red Artisan, and I cut them at 7x7, and I scored each one with, it doesn't make any difference which size because they're 7-inch squares. Just put one side up and scored at 3/8, the other one at 3/8, and then match up those 2 3/8 and glue them together. And I just glued them with a little Artisan. Now on the front, I'm going to use this die cut, and gosh, which sheet is it from? Oh, that one's from the multi. The postcard is from a different one. I'll have to tell you where the postcard came from. Postcard came from this one, which is called 4x6 journaling cards. So the postcard is from 4x6 journaling cards, and this one is the one that is from the multi cards, where I showed you the cutout on the edge. That's where this one came from. And I'm just going to ink around this. I don't typically ink around the white photomats, because for me it makes them look kind of dirty. So I don't usually do that. But I do like to ink around all my embellishments and die cuts and stuff. Okay, so we're going to put this on the upper right hand side of that front. Like that. And I have two little photomats. And I'll tell you the size as soon as I put this first one down. Goes this way. Make sure my spacing is good. That is 2 5/8 by 2 7/8. Okay. And then I have a green strip of the snowflake that I'm going to put down here. And I needed to get these glued down in order to get a measurement. Pencil. I never know where my pencil is. There it is. Make a little pencil mark right here. And we'll cut that off and ink it. Sure, got that. Yes, that's fine. Never hurts to double check yourself, because frequently I've been known to mess up. And I usually leave my mess ups in my tutorials so you guys can see. Don't do what she just did. Nobody's perfect. And there's that. There we go. Now I'll put a sticker or something in here. But we need to put our pockets on the inside. And I have 2 pockets, and they are cut at 8 by 6, and they're scored with the 8 at the top on both sides at a half, then turn it to 6 and score 1 time at a half. And we're going to burnish those. And you'll want to miter your corners where the lines, the score lines cross. And I like to taper just a little bit off the top of the pocket on the scored edge, just to take away the bulk. Now these pockets, hopefully I cut them right, are going to sit right in here Yep, and we're going to have an insert that flops over. So we'll do this one as well. We need to burnish it. And I don't know if I'll have room enough in there in the album cover to put a second one, but I thought it'd be neat to have one in red and one in craft. But by the time I get other photo mats and stuff in there, there may not be all that room because I don't have a very deep side piece on those. So let me burnish this again, make sure it's really creased well because I don't want it to be jetting up in the air. Now if you want to notch these, now would be the time to notch it. I'm going to leave mine straight this time. I like to put notches in them, but everybody doesn't have the little envelope boards. And I've had people tell me they've had a lot of trouble using them. So I've tried to explain, you know, how I do it. But in view of the fact that people are still having trouble with it apparently, I thought I would just leave it straight edges this time. Make it easy for everybody to put it together. But if you want to notch yours, go ahead. It just adds a little something extra to it. So we're going to put this right outside that, right above the score line, and line it up on the edges. Straight. Okay, we'll do the same thing with the other one. It's going to face out towards the outside edge, just like that one did. So let me burnish that one again. Make sure we've got good sharp edges. This artisan is pretty tough. Alright, so let's bring this one over. Add some glue. And then after we get this glued down, I'll take a short pause to cut some more paper and get ready for the next step. And then we'll go from there, but we're getting a lot done on this. Turning out really cute. Doesn't hurt anything to have gorgeous paper though, does it? Okay. Just above your score line now. Okay. Now if you want to put an edge on any of your corners, you'll want to do it before you start adding these pieces. Now this is not going to need a ribbon or a magnet or anything because it's very small, and it's just going to be a little booklet that sits right inside that pocket. Alright, I'm going to cut some more papers and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, I'm here again, and of course I've made another mistake. Alright, we were putting this together. This is too big, it won't fit in the book. Can you believe I did that? It is a ½ inch too big. That's what I get for not measuring but I do that. So I will save this and make it as a standalone. I think it'll be cute to put in one of the little, you know, the mailing envelopes you buy that have the bubble wrap on the inside of them. That'd be cute to send to grandparents or family members or somebody far away that you don't get to see for the holidays, and send them some of your photos. So I will use a ribbon attached on the inside of each one of these, and I will show you. I'll go ahead and embellish it off screen. No sense having to do both of them together. So I cut another one, and it's very similar on the outside. I did add a piece of from the sticker sheet, a sticker border, and then this trim was sent to me from Tammy. And to me it looks like snowballs, but I just thought it was really cute, so I used it there, and I just glued this on 3 sides so I can stick some embellishments in there. So this one is, instead of 7 by 7, it's 7 tall, 6.5 wide, and then still scored at 3/8. Attached the same way as the one I made too big. So I just cut 4 photo mats for the front of the pocket. Because it's small, I want to utilize as much space for photos as I can. So I'm going to put 4 photo mats, 2 on each side. And I want to make sure I leave a little border. Not too much, because I have to put a second one on there. Let me see how much room I've got left. That'll be perfect, just like that. Okay, and I want to line this one up with it. And you won't have to crop down your photos too terribly much. So there's that one. Oops. I like to leave this on if I can for the white border, because a lot of places, especially if you go out and have your photos printed, a lot of them don't leave a border anymore. So it just depends on what you like, you know. So there's our 4th one. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Where'd my other piece of paper go? It went down inside. Did it? Yes. I didn't mean for it to go that far down. Oh, darn. It went way down in there. Ugh. Alright, let me just ink 3 sides of it. At least we know it's going to fit, because it's sunk down in there. And I just cut these 2.5 wide and 6 7/8 tall. And I'm just going to lightly catch the edges with the vintage photo. And then we'll put these down inside the pocket. And then I cut a red and a green photo mat for each side. And they will, you'll still have more room for additional photo mats if you want to have more than that. So there's that little, this candy paper is on the back side of the, I think it was the 4x4 journaling tags, yes, on the 4x4 journaling cards. That in there. Whoops. Oop. Well, they will be able to take it off if they want to. It wasn't glued down very good. Burnish that some more. I just didn't get enough glue on it, that's all I can tell you. There, that ought to do it. Okay, and then we've got a red and a green for each side. The red is, I did cut them a little bit different. The red is 5 by 6, I think. 5 by 6.5. And the green is 5 by 6. Okay. So, I need photo mats. Let me cut some photo mats real quick. And I'll show you what I want to do to them. And then you can opt to either do it that way or not. 5 7/8 for the 6-inch. And I said, I think this one was 5 by 6. 5 by 6. So 5 7/8. By 4 1/4. No. Let's do 4 7/8. Now, you can do, that's 5 7/8 by 4 7/8, and then just put a small strip of paper, which I like that look. And this one is 6.5 by 6. So let's do 5 7/8. Corner. And we'll have more of a border on this one. We'll have a border top and bottom on this one. And you can make them different on the front and the back. I'll finish cutting photo mats, and then I'll come back and we'll put them together so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I still need to get something for the back side, but it turned out really cute, and it's very simple and easy to make. And I will put a little piece of trim down the center too. But I'll be back shortly as soon as I cut some more paper. Alright guys, we are winding this up today. What I have done that I think you haven't seen is on this lower pocket. Let me make sure you're, yes, I just added one of the little cut aparts from the multi cut apart sheet to the pocket, and then I just inked up a couple more small ones and put them inside the pocket. I didn't back them on cardstock. You can if you want to. It really doesn't make any difference. There's plenty of room in the pocket to do that if you want to. You had seen the little tags in the upper pocket. What I just finished was this little booklet, and I just wanted to show you. I use a lightweight cardstock that you can find in most any craft supply store, because I don't want to use my artisan and then cover it up with photos. So I use something lightweight, and that also keeps down the bulk. And then here's the photo mats, and I just cut my photo mats out and pieced some of the scraps around it and added stickers. Very simple and easy to do. This one, that's the back side, and on this one we have 3 photos, another one of the stickers, and I just put little pieces of the green artisan behind it to elevate it so that you can slide your photo behind it. And then on the back side I have the sand and reindeer on some green artisan with the photo mat. So let's put those back over here. And then on this side I have the green one with Joy to the World. On the back is just the stripe. And this one is the red with the gift package. And on the back I had just put some scraps of paper. And they turn out really cute like that. And there's plenty of room in these pockets. You can put more than 2 inserts if you want to. Really super simple. And on the back I just added 2 photo mats with 2 more strips of paper. So nothing earth shaking. Really easy to do. I just knocked something on the floor. Fits in there perfectly. And we close this one. And this one. Then the lower one and the upper one. And we put our letter to Santa in it. And it's a done deal. That's it. I haven't put anything on the back yet. I don't know what I want to do with it, but I think I'm going to leave all my spines green. That's my plan at this moment. So I hope you enjoy this. If you make one, I'd love to see your finished project. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day. Bye. Okay guys, just a real quick update here. I couldn't deal with all the green left over. I just felt like it looked unfinished. So I went through all my scraps and I found that I had a big enough piece of this red background with a snowflake pattern on it. It's on the back side of the 4x6 cut-aparts. And I was able to do all my spines and the back. And I just double matted with white. So that finished it all the way around, so I'm happier with it. But I wanted to show that to you before I do my walkthrough and finalize this whole thing. That's it. Have a great day, and I will see you in my next project.